My name's Christopher Hampton. I'm the librettist on this opera by Philip Glass based on The Trial by Kafka. We're in the early part of rehearsals now, so we're just trying to fit the action to the music, really, because there are musical passages that aren't part of the spoken or sung part of the libretto. So we're sort of trying to manipulate crowd scenes, and we're at a very early stage, so it's quite flexible. Although, of course, it's not as flexible as I'm used to as a playwright, because if things don't quite work, you can reorganize the dialogue, which you can't do in an opera, because the music's already laid down. This is the third time I've worked with Philip. I have another opera with him next year at the Kennedy Center in America, which will be the fourth. And they've all been quite different, but this was, in a sense, the most challenging because it's such a major classic, and it's a book that's very important to Philip. And he's adapted Kafka before. He's done it from the Penal Colony, but this is the sort of Everest of Kafka adaptations, I suppose. So it's been fun to do, but it is quite tricky. A novel is much longer than the material, the time that you've got for a sort of 2-hour opera. You really have to make a lot of choices and try and work out what the sort of essential events and the essential line of the novel is, and distill it, really, as much as possible, and musicalizing it as well further shortens it, because the amount of time taken by singing something is greater proportionally than just speaking dialogue. Well, The Trial is one of the half dozen or so great essential novels of the 20th century. It was written in 1914 in German by a Czech, and kind of invented a new universe, which in turn has given way to a sort of whole landscape that we describe as Kafkaesque, that we understand very well, but which didn't exist in our thinking until Kafka came along and wrote these books. And what's one of the remarkable things about it is it was written so early in the 20th century and foresaw so many of the more catastrophic events that were about to engulf Europe in the middle of the 20th century. So it has this strange sort of prophetic sense. On the other hand, I think one of Kafka's favourite writers was Lewis Carroll. So there's a kind of, he loved Alice in Wonderland, and there is a kind of demented logic, which is almost comic, which is in the book set against the horror of the individual's persecution. It's kind of like a comedy horror.